things that I have in the past gotten really confused about is what we're allowed to use where in regard to compliance and codes and in-ground, on-ground, exterior, interior, and then you've just thrown in like this whole red alert timber. Like I was cool with like, you know, hardwood, softwood, H1, H2, H3, and then you're like, red alert! And so in here, you've just told me we've used H3 and red alert. So I just want a 2-minute masterclass for anyone who is listening. If they're building in Australia, because I'm assuming their codes are different internationally, like a glossary, please. 1,
Okay,
2,
glossary
3,
is
red alert.
Australia has the worst termites in the world.
Winning!
Okay, so 2 on that. We have termite treated timber.
Yep.
So what they do is actually
Dip it in arsenic?
Dip it. There's no more arsenic. No.
They
that
used
to
to.
be the copper chrome arsenic, CCA.
Yeah.
It's no longer.
Okay,
so we
no
don't
more
use
arsenic.
that.
I'm showing my age.
No one sells it in Australia anymore.
Okay.
Anywho, we have H2, which is the blue pine timber framing that
Yes.
you will see on jobs. We usually use that for timber framing as it's in walls and it's got a coating around the outside that can technically still get up
So
the
it's
inside. Internal.
Okay.
We then have H3, which is your, look, above ground but can be used external.
Okay.
Treated pine, which you can see in the background here. It's usually treated and coated more.
Then the H2.
Better than the H2.
Okay.
And your red alert over there is actually a H2 classification. It's an LVL, which is a laminated veneer length.
Okay.
So essentially plywood,
Yes.
but about 90mm thick,
Yes.
and all of that timber's treated
Okay.
in there. So the H2 classification is quite good in that.
Yes.
As good as H3
Yes.
timber over here. Now we can get H4. That's usually the sleepers that everyone
That's the
uses.
in-ground stuff.
In-ground stuff.
Okay. So you would never, is there ever a need or want to go, I'm really frightened of termites, I'm going to use H4 everywhere?
Look, the biggest thing for termites is that they need water.
They
so
do.
if there's water getting underneath your house.
We go back to the whole water conversation. Back
We do.
to water is bad in residential dwellings, or any dwellings, inside, underfloors, in roofs,
Yep.
bad.
If there's any offcuts that you leave in the floor or on the ground, all in the old houses, if you have
Yep.
a look underneath there, you need to really clear that out to make it safe. Going forward,
Yes.
it is probably supplied more than normal timber pine framing now.
H4.
H2,
H2.
sorry, H2.
Okay.
So you have these products here. It's not as good as the old CCA or your
Okay.
arsenic,
But we don't die when it burns.
Yeah, we don't die when it burns.
We don't die when it burns. So anyone who is really health orientated and doing their own renovation and they really just want to use normal internal framing because they're worried about the way that the H2 has been treated, how do you feel about that with your team and your boys?
Look, that's a good point, and obviously that might come up in later years after we
All
have
get
done it all.
old. Yeah.
Look, the dust, I think, is your biggest issue there.
Well,
Dust.
it's just a PPE, isn't
Yeah,
it?
dust is a problem in anything. Like whether we cut bricks, concrete, we cut down trees. I
Yeah.
mean, the camphor laurel trees, we cut down one of those and get that in your lungs and it really hurts. So, but to people that want a green home, you can still use the pine.
Yep.
You've got to minimise the ability for those termites to get underneath there. Water is a problem. You have that underneath your house, then
Yep.
they're definitely going to be attracted. Have any old timber underneath there, they're going to be attracted. But then if you did want to just stay green and use non-treated products,
Yep.
have it inspected on a 6-monthly basis.
Okay, perfect. I like the way you work. So there you go. All the things that I took 10 years to work out, you've learned in about 3, 4 or 5 minutes, I think. So thanks, Josh.
You're welcome, Nose.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're following me on Instagram to see my latest design and reno inspiration. You can find me at Naomi Findlay Official or click the link in my description. See you soon.